I lost a lot already, you know what I'm saying? So,
But you haven't lost any blood. So did the person who was in the hospital, because I'm sure this person had to go to the hospital for the stab wound, right? So when they were in the hospital from where you stabbed them, they lost time with their family. They lost time with their children. If they have children, can't go to the ball game because they're in the hospital. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 10249, State of Texas versus John Robert Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
And Ron Ross for responding.
Are you Mr. Garcia?
yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest on March 29th. And you entered a plea to, just one moment. You entered a plea to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years. There's a $1,500 fine. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and the state is remaining silent on your application. And there's an affirmative finding of family violence and no contact with Michael Lopez. All right, defense and state, did you have a chance to review the TAP evaluation that was prepared?
I did, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the TAP evaluation from either the state or the defense?
Not from the fence.
No, Your Honor.
And then defense, did you receive a copy of the victim impact statement?
I did, Judge.
All right, the state is silent. Defense, you may proceed.
Judge, my client here, John, is 28. Doesn't have any prior felonies. I think he's got maybe 1 or 2 DWIs, maybe a graffiti case. He has 4 children, 8, 6, 5, and 3, or some of 2 different ladies. He's under child support order to pay. He's had a job. He reports that he has been paying child support. The altercation involved a brother. It wasn't some innocent. His brother's innocent, but it wasn't some just bystander didn't have knowledge of. I'm asking the court to give him deferred adjudication, give him a chance. He's 28, no priors, redeem himself. I would like to ask him a couple of questions if I might.
All right, if you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
John Robert Garcia.
All right, defense.
John, you understand the charge that you have here, you could be put in jail up to 20 years.
Yes,
And you understand you asked the judge to give you deferred adjudication. That's a special kind of probation that if you violate, then the judge can put you in jail for the full 20 years. You understand?
yes,
Was I correct? Was I accurate when I told the judge that you had a job, you have children, you under child support order
yes,
for these children? Is that right?
yes, yes, sir.
Were you making child support payments before you got arrested?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of employment did you have?
I'm a cook.
Think you can go back and get a job?
Yes, I can.
If you get on probation?
Yes, I can.
And this incident involved a knife, correct?
Yes, I did.
And your brother?
Yes.
Just tell the judge, if you would, why you're asking for probation, deferred adjudication, why you think that you ought to receive it. Would you explain to the judge? She wants
Your
to hear
Honor,
from you.
let's start off by saying I know probation is a privilege, and I know that I can meet the terms and conditions of the probation. This is my first violent offense. I'm not a violent person at all. And this day it plays over in my head. I wish it could have happened any other way.
Well, you say you're not a violent person, but you heard for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Who did you touch?
That's my brother,
Okay,
my half brother.
What, I don't want to go into facts, but y'all went in an argument when this happened, right?
Right. And we have a rocky relationship, you know, so it's always ended somewhat of us getting in arguments and stuff like that. So I just want to state that as well.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and so why do you think you ought to be given a chance? I mean, you told the judge you have no prior
Right.
record.
I'll be thinking I should give him a chance because I know I could complete the probation as well. It also breaks my heart because I don't like my children to see me in jail. And they have many questions on why I'm here. And I don't want them to see me go to prison either, Your Honor. So I'm asking you to please give me a second chance.
I pass the witness.
No questions.
With that, Judge, I would ask you to consider deferred
Well, what
adjudication.
were they arguing about in the car?
You're gonna have to tell the judge.
What were we arguing about?
Mhm.
Past situations that occurred. Usually when we hang out, he brings them up. I don't really like to talk about the situation, but it was just about things from the past that he still heated on, that he still has anger towards me about, but
But he didn't stab you.
no.
Let me ask you this. Had you had anything to drink that day?
Earlier in the day, yes.
Do you know if your brother, I mean, I'm not asking you to speculate. Do you know if your brother had anything to drink that day?
Yes, he did.
In your mind, were you intoxicated?
No, I wasn't.
Was he intoxicated?
I believe he was.
Did he make any aggressive actions toward you?
Yes, he did.
I think, Judge, I think the police report reflects that my client had said at the time his brother attacked him first, not with a weapon, but physically.
According to the stipulated evidence that the court has, it says, witness two and neighbors were outside, told police that they saw S1 flee the area running past them, coming from where victim one was laying on the ground. Witness two and neighbors said that suspect one ran behind the backside of the building. When Officer Hernandez went around the building, she found S1 who matched the description given by W2 and neighbors. S1 had blood on his shirt and hands to include the knife in his possession, which he used to cut victim one, which also had blood on it. Witness one came back to the scene where he told the police that he was the driver of the vehicle, where S1 was in the passenger seat and victim one was in the back middle seat giving directions. Witness one said that suspect and victim one were arguing back and forth when victim one said for W1, which is the witness, to stop the car to get out. As W1 was exiting the vehicle, witness one said that suspect one, which is your client, reached back with a knife and cut victim in the abdomen. Witness one said that's when he heard victim one say, "He cut me, I'm bleeding." He saw the blood and began to apply pressure with a t-shirt. Witness one said that is when S1 took off south from the location on foot.
That is correct, but I believe it's somewhere in the police reports. He said that his brother had attacked him first. I may be wrong, but
None of this occurred in the vehicle at all.
Okay. All right, the court is going to deny the application, find the defendant guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Michael Lopez, $1,500 fine, time and money to record current. The punishments be assessed at a cap of 6 years. Would you like to speak to the cap, counsel?
I would, Judge, I would, again, I'll let you consider everything you've heard today, and I don't think he's been in prison before, and I don't know that he's been in jail very long, except for this time right now, and I think that anytime you give him 2 years, 3 years, 4 years is gonna be a real wake-up call to him, and he's gonna have additional child support accruing while he's in jail. He's gonna have to get out and pay to start supporting these kids, and he's young, and I'd like for you to do, give him what you give him a minimum possible that you could for in prison. Again, I think if he's gonna wake up, he's gonna wake up now. Even a year or 2 years, he's gonna wake up, so.
All right, Mr. Garcia, how much time do you think you deserve
Your Honor,
for stabbing someone in the stomach?
I'm not too sure. I mean,
Well, I mean, surely you have a thought on what type of sentence you think you deserve. I mean, you were here asking for deferred adjudication. That's been denied.
Yeah.
So now I can sentence you anywhere from 2 to 6 years in prison. How much time do you think you deserve for stabbing your brother?
Your Honor, I don't know how to answer that question,
What would you ask the judge for?
Ask the judge if she could possibly give me maybe, I don't know, 3 years maybe, I'm not sure, I don't
But do
know.
you deserve 3 years? Or do you deserve more than that? That's my question to you. Some people will come in and some people will say, you know what? I think I deserve 2 years.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I don't know. See, the way I feel is, I don't know, I feel bad for the situation, like I really do. No amount of time could change what I did, because you
No,
know,
it can't.
I broke a bond, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I could never get back. So
Yeah.
to me, I lost a lot already, you know what I'm saying? So,
But you haven't lost any blood because the person you stabbed lost blood. So when people are taken away from their families, they're like, I lost time with my family. So did the person who was in the hospital, because I'm sure this person had to go to the hospital for the stab wound, right? So when they were in the hospital from where you stabbed them, they lost time with their family. They lost time with their children. If they have children, can't go to the ball game because they're in the hospital. If they're walking around carrying their children, can't walk around and carry my child because I've been stabbed. Can't have my child running towards me where I lift him up because I've been stabbed. I got staples or stitches or whatever. So when I ask people what time do they deserve, I'm not asking you about how this is going to affect other people in your life, how it's going to affect your children. I internalized what you said about, or at least your counsel said about, I don't want my children to see me in jail. Hopefully your children have not been visiting you in the jail. Excuse me, miss, there's no phone use in the courtroom. So what time do you think you deserve?
I think 3 years for me would be a wake up call.
Why do you deserve 3? Why not 6?
I haven't been in trouble, Your Honor. I've been 28 years of my life,
I haven't been in
and
trouble
I
either.
did change my life. Well, we come from different backgrounds. I come from a hard upbringing.
You don't know where I come
And
from.
I did change my life, Your Honor.
There are a lot of people who have a hard upbringing, and guess what? They've never been arrested, never been in jail, and never stabbed anybody. Now, I do understand that people have different upbringing and everybody has their own path, and I understand that people walk in different shoes, and what may affect you a certain way may not affect me the same way.
Right. I
But
came
there
a
are
long way,
plenty of
Your
people
Honor.
who've had hard lives.
I came a long way and I changed so much.
What's up with the tattoos on your face?
Uh,
What is that?
Got them when I was younger.
What is that a tattoo of?
It's my daughter's birthday.
You can't remember that?
I can't put it.
All right, that's your daughter's birthday up there. I'm talking about on the cheek. What is that? That is not a numerical birthday.
It's a essay.
Essay what?
San Antonio.
You can't remember where you live?
Again.
All right. Court's gonna sentence you to 6 years in prison, give you credit for any time that you served. There's to be no contact with Michael Lopez, $1,500 fine, time and money running current. Is there restitution at all?
Your Honor, I don't believe we have a figure. I can check the system, but I don't have an exact figure for you.
All right, then there's restitution, if any, to Michael Lopez. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal. I'm sorry, just one moment too. There's also an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. So that the record can be clear, Brenda, this is the complete record. $1,500 fine, time and money running current, 6 years in the prison, credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Michael Lopez, and restitution, if any, to Michael Lopez. Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, and also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
What makes this case linger isn't just the sentence, it's the betrayal at its core. This wasn't a stranger, a robbery, or a random act of violence. This was a brother turning on his own blood in a moment that can never be undone. And as the courtroom fell silent, the reality became unavoidable. Some actions don't just hurt in the moment, they echo for a lifetime. John Garcia stood there, asking for another chance, talking about his children, his future, and the life he hoped to rebuild. But across that courtroom lived a very different reality. One where his own brother now carries scars, pain, and fear that didn't exist before that night. A body that doesn't function the same. A family that will never feel whole again. And that's what made this moment so powerful. The judge didn't just hear excuses. She forced a shift in perspective. This wasn't about what Garcia might lose. It was about what had already been taken from someone else. 6 years. For some, that might sound harsh. For others, not enough. But the real weight of this case isn't measured in time. It's measured in consequences. Broken trust. Permanent damage. A relationship that may never heal. Because in the end, this wasn't just a crime. It was a decision. One that turned a single moment of anger into a lifetime of impact. And the question that stays with you is simple. When everything is said and done, was justice truly enough?